Yo, 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 welcome to Crate 808. Cock it, because we are doing a British horror classic today. It has been 20 years since the release of Shaun of the Dead from 2004. And yeah, we have got two of my favourite voices in the hip-hop podosphere, Call Out Cultures, Alaska Atoms, and Zilla Rocca. Fresh, nope. I think you were our first guest, Zilla, on the Horror Hip-Hop Heads Talking Horror podcast series.
I think you are, yeah.
Oh, look at me. All right, check that out. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Look at me. Exactly. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you, Alaska. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing swell, man. How about yourself?
Good. All the better for doing another horror podcast. I've enjoyed doing these. Always. Yeah. The horror is a good genre to talk. You need the palate cleanser when you're doing like a hip hop podcast and consuming that much hip hop. You know, you just need to sometimes you gotta get that ginger that comes with your sushi, cleanse the palate, get ready for some new flavors. I love that. I've
been watching nothing but Criterion Collection art house for the last week and a half. So this was fun. I was like, I could just kind of hang out, come back in and out. I don't need to really pay attention closely and then read liner. Like I like to read about the movies while I'm watching them on IMDb, and then Criterion will have like essays and stuff.
Oh wow!
And so for this one, I was like, I'm just gonna just chill out. Simon Pegg and them, Nick Frost. I'm good.
Yeah. It does work on two levels though, right? This film. I think you can go Easter egg hunting and be fully consumed for the whole thing, or you can just kick back and relax and watch it. I think the first time I saw it was, I think it was in the cinema, and it was pretty amazing to see the British slant on zombies. But I think the best time I watched it was, being in the pub for 6 hours and then getting home, getting a kebab and sitting down and watching it in that atmosphere. And it works on both levels. So
it almost seems more appropriate on that level.
It really does.
It's definitely you're an immersive tale, right? You're jumping into it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Living that life with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was Nick Frost that night. Absolutely. But yeah, let's start at the beginning then. It's 20 years, which is mad. But 2004, Cast Our Minds Back. Alaska, tell me how you first got into this film and Edgar Wright.
I don't remember where I heard about it first, but I think I might have just seen a preview for it and was like, all right, I'm into that. Like I never heard of Simon Pegg before that or any of that. Like I didn't see Spaced until later.
Right.
So it was just new. I just was like, this looks dope. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you have to refresh my memory, but was it before or after like this sort of first spate of zombie films that came out in like this century? The ones that were sort of like building on the fears of like terrorist attacks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think I was kind of into that, like the 28 Days Later, the remake of Dawn of the Dead, all those movies. I was like, all right, cool. Like this was an interesting take on the zombie movies. And then, it's kind of right in my wheelhouse too, like that sort of referential humor, tapping into like all the pop culture shit, like sort of, it's a very definitive Gen X tale. And as a Gen X member, it definitely was like right there.
Yeah. It definitely is very, very Gen X. Just so we know a timeline on the zombie landscape. I did write these down because it hit me as a very notable film, just because I haven't seen a British version of the zombie tale until 28 Days Later. So I looked at this and there was a big, big empty gap of like zombie, like not even classics, just good zombie films. So listeners out there, horror heads out there, let me know if I'm wrong here. But I've written it down. I think 1992 Brain Dead comes out, right? Brain Dead being just a cult classic. And then I was looking for all the zombie films and it was 2002. 10 years later, I really loved zombies again, which was 28 Days Later, Death Watch, Resident Evil. Those things had come out. And then 2004, my friend, when this comes out, so does Dawn of the Dead remake. The same year.
So, it's funny. So I was not into zombie movies, not a horror guy. And I saw 28 Days Later in a theater because I was fascinated by the like being handheld, right? And being and like I remember like the opening trailer, they would show Cillian Murphy in the middle of downtown London. It was like, hello, and he's got a bag and it's just empty.
Yeah,
and it reminded me like that Vanilla Sky thing when he was in the middle of Times Square, just empty. And I was like, what the hell happens? So I saw that in a theater, and then I was I didn't watch the Resident Evil joints because I didn't play the games. But then I saw Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder, which is probably still his best movie. I saw that in the theater by myself. And it's in this town outside of Philly, like 2 hours away where my family's from. It's called Steelton, PA. And Alaska. It's like right by Harrisburg.
Okay.
And I went to go see that at like 9:30 by myself in a small town. And I walked out of the theater freaking out. Like, because it's empty. It was like 11:30 at night. No one's around. I'm in an area, like in a different part. I was like, yo, bugging. And I liked feeling creeped out by that. So I was like, all right. And then, so when this came out, I remember I heard about it I was finishing college that year, and they had posters for it in college, like building up the promo for it. And I was like, oh, I love Dawn of the Dead. I just saw that. I'm going to go see Shaun of the Dead. Ha ha ha. And so I was all about that too. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like a zombie guy now. And then, so that began a nice journey. And that brought us to this phone call. So thank you.
There you go.
Oh, amazing. So it was like two British films. I don't want to keep leaning on the British thing, but for me, it was, I loved horror, but it was never on my doorstep, as in it was always big cities or like big rural areas where you're like, okay, but we don't really have the civil rights kind of movement of the, Dawn of the Dead, the original Night of the Living Dead, where you're like, this whole idea and the subtext applies, absolutely, but not to my life. My life is going down the street to get a Cornetto. So when this guy is then putting that world around zombies and not saying the word, like it's this, what I love about this film, and it is that we're all like kind of geeks on different levels, on different like art forms. This is a love letter. This whole film is like one of the best horror pop culture love letters of anyone. It's almost obsessively detailed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ, Edgar Wright was standing big time doing this.
Big time.
Big time. And and then it's interesting where it lays for you, because I'm looking at the timeline. 2004 Dawn of the Dead, 2004 Shaun of the Dead, 2005 Land of the Dead, which wasn't bad. I didn't mind that, watching that.
Yeah.
And then it was really 2007 when it started kicking off with Wreck, I Am Legend, Diary of the Dead, 28 Weeks Later, Pontypool. All that stuff started coming after. So I was thinking about this. I was under the illusion this really kickstarted like a zombie kind of craze, but I don't think it did. It just kickstarted my re-love for zombies. I think I went back more, if you know what I mean.
Was 28 Weeks Later good? I never saw it.
I didn't like it. I've only ever watched it
was
twice.
A major step down.
Yes.
Really? I heard very mixed things.
But Pontypool, which you mentioned, was great. I just watched that recently, like within the last year for the first time, and it's fucking outstanding.
Yeah. It was one of them ones that got passed around like, you like horror, you got to watch Pontypool. And I remember thinking, it's about radio? Okay, let's check it out. And
it's really small, but it's great.
Yes, but sometimes that's the best thing, isn't it? If it's just so...
It is,
It's a bit like this film. It's all based around a pub and two guys that were, you're like, this is so weird how I think the reason I loved it and it's lasted over the years is because, yes, it is horror, but it's also bromance, and I love a bit of bromance. It's a slacker comedy, almost like, Richard Linklater almost at points, where you're like, these guys are just like lounging about, nothing, no aim. Like even their conversations are like, we have no aim. We are Gen X, like we don't do anything. And it's just like, what's the aim today? So it just goes as far as like booking a fish restaurant or not booking the fish restaurant. It's amazing.
Well, it really, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it definitely builds on a film thing that was happening at that time, where it was like dudes getting to their late 20s, early 30s, Gen X, like, we have to do something with our lives. Like, what's going on with us? Like the sort of like that feeling of unfulfillment that I think a lot of us had of that slacker lifestyle of like, I'm not going to buy into any of this shit. I'm just going to like live my life like this. And realizing that like sometimes even like something like having a job, like having a purpose is more important than having no purpose.
Yes.
Right. So like, it's like high fidelity. I was telling Zilla, it's like high fidelity with zombies.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah. Because the use of music in it is amazing. It's quite in the centerpiece of the whole album, of the whole film.
Yeah. Like that became like an Edgar Wright thing.
Yeah.
Like, remember that movie Baby Driver, which I didn't think that was very good, but it was all built on this dude still having like a first gen iPod.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that, the whole point of the movie is like, this guy has a playlist with old tech And that's all he listens to. It's like,
but
he shoots people, drives around.
Yeah, it's very, very. I don't know, that film. I think more of it is just about the choreography. It's just the setups and the payoffs.
Right.
And
yeah,
again, this film kind of has setup and payoffs through the whole thing. And I think that's what's so good about it as well, because it's so. I mean, you have the kind of minutiae he deals into, and you also have the big, like everyone can tell that kind of callback and the cyclical humor of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And to just call, like, some of the best callbacks in horror history is just like the callback to the walk to the shop, which is just one of the best, like, one takes where you're like, this is awesome. I don't know, did you know the story about the fact that how he got away with that shot as well? Like, they wanted to do it, and then they were like, there's just no like time for this. It's needless. He's just walking to the shop. So he's just packed the background with more and more detail. And until it got to the point where they're like, well, no, this is amazing. Like, we need all the references to the woman who works on the till in the credit sequence. She's there, you know, the guy who's running, the guy at the wedding. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, there's so many amazing bits in this one piece. Yeah, you had to cram it full. Where do you guys think like this stands on, like, you know, like the whole trilogy as a whole, and like the pain of growing up and stuff like that? Do you enjoy the whole trilogy, or is it just this one of Wright's stuff that you're really enjoying?
I'm watching Hot Fuzz again. My instinct is to go Hot Fuzz #1 as well. I haven't seen The World's End in a long. I think I saw that in a theater when it came out, so I'm gonna rewatch that. But I remember that one as like them grappling with, we're in our 40s. And we don't have time to be at the pub and hang out. But I don't remember. I just remember that as the crux, as like the bow on top, like wrapping everything up with these 3 joints over however many years they started, 10 years. But this one was, it was like watching it again. I was like, I can't imagine it was a high budgeted movie, but he did so much good work with such a small budget, because he had really, I mean, everyone in the movie is really good, even if they're only in it for short spells. But I think like the way, and then like in Hot Fuzz when he flips it, where Simon Pegg is like the most disciplined, purposeful guy.
Yes.
As was it, his name's like Sergeant Nick Angel or something.
Angel, yeah.
And then Angel. Nick Frost is like this sweet guy who's just in awe and like just wants to watch Bad Boys with him. Like that's
yeah.
And if I remember again, I remember the last one that well isn't Simon Pegg like a total douchebag in the last one?
Yeah. And the last one, so he's a real slacker.
I gotta go back to so I want to go back to that first before. So
he almost has like a pickup artist vibe to him. Like if you remember that show, like Mystery. Those dudes, like Mystery, Neil Strauss. Like he has that vibe to him. Like he's gonna do magic tricks to try to get laid.
Oh my God.
He does. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, and Nick Frost plays the really highly strung workaholic guy.
Yeah.
So they do switch
that's full circle for him.
Yeah. So they do switch it a lot, and I love the trajectory of the kind of just the filmmaker and what he's gone on to do. But you mentioned Spaced. Now, Space was huge, like for someone like me who, I don't know if you've watched much of, there's a show called Brass Eye that came out here, which was really pushing.
Never heard of that. Oh, wait, what is it called?
Brass Eye. So it was like a satire news show.
Okay. No, I've never seen it. I was thinking like Brasic. There's like a show called
Brasic. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah. Brass Eye. And it was very, very alternative. It pushed all the boundaries. They did like a show about AIDS and like what's good AIDS and bad AIDS. And you would have this humor, which was so like you couldn't put that on telly, but it happened to be on TV. And then there was this whole of like, there was comedy, but there wasn't much. But then Space came along, and it wasn't as kind of offending as most of the other stuff, but it wasn't as offensive, but it was definitely like, the crash zooms, like the cuts. What I love about Shaun as well, and Edgar Wright generally, is how you make the mundane so electric. And it clearly is a bloke, like me, who grew up watching Arnie montages, like he's zipping up in commando, bang, there's the grenades, bang, there's the vest. And he's doing that, but the guy's making a cup of tea. And it's just like...
Yeah, see, I thought that was a nod to Requiem for a Dream. When he would do all those things leading into them doing the drugs.
It is similar. It's also very Raimi, though. It's also very Evil Dead.
Yeah, you're right.
Is Army of Darkness maybe more than the other two? But Army of Darkness definitely had that montage.
Where the chainsaw. Yeah.
And
then in Spider-Man, too, with the Doc Ock scene.
Yes.
When they're doing the surgery on Doc Ock, yeah.
And the Raimi, yeah, of course, yeah. What a wicked scene that is. I love that Doc Ock scene. That is a crazy ass scene, man. And that's like a kid's film. I watched that in the cinema thinking, holy fuck, they are.
That was the best part.
Yeah, it was the best part. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know what you thought to the visual style. Like, is it overly done? Like, I know it's like kinetic and like it's incredibly skillful, but I don't know if it did anything for you. Does it wind you up, or are you good with it?
What do you got, Alaska?
I mean, when I first saw it, I was blown away by it, right? But now I went back to, like, I probably haven't watched it in like 15 years. So going back to it now, I'm like, all right, this is like, it almost feels like cliche at this point, right? But when it first came out, it was groundbreaking. Yeah. But so I wasn't as into it this time, to be honest with you. But it definitely, like, at the time, I was like, this is great. Like, it was just like, it felt very music video.
Yes,
right? You know what I mean? Like, you're telling a story through visual cues that are like fast and choppy and get you going, right?
Yeah.
Not choppy, like, poorly put together, but like quick chops.
Yeah. But it's almost like they're needless in a way. Like, you don't need to know he's making a cup of tea, but it's also like pretty amazing that you do get to see that all pulling a pint. It's amazing.
Yeah.
As US, like, I don't know if you had much history with British kind of film or British horror, but on your point, did you see anything different in British life that you probably envisioned before? Or is there anything different? Or how would you have, like, if this was set in America, how would that have gone down? Already that'd have been guns. There'd have been guns, I'm sure. But
I liked how they would keep ending this when they were trying to figure out where to go once the zombie outbreak hit. Every scenario ended with them sitting on the couch, like, with a cup of tea. Be like, oh, we'll just sit here and wait it out. Like, it'll be great.
Wait it out. It's so British. Yeah.
This is so like very polite. Like, oh, we just did it all. We're fine. We'll just sit here. The funny thing is, watching it again, though, and I remember this back then too, I didn't realize, the same way until you watch certain like women-centered comedies like Girls or like Broad City, just how decrepit and gross people are that aren't just like guys.
Yeah.
So like watching Nick Frost just be like a complete piece of shit, right? And everyone's like, "Can you lock the door? Can you clean? Can you take messages?
Yeah.
Because we have one landline here." And even like when the zombies are around him and he's taking a phone call, he's like, "Hold on, mate." He's like, "Oh, it's not a good time to talk." And everyone's looking at him like, "Can you stop being a fuck up like for 5 minutes?" And so that struck me because everyone else in the movie is more like how I would picture British people. And Shaun's like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like he has a job managing like some rinky-dink local electronics store, but all the teenagers think he's a fucking loser.
I love those teenagers.
Then his mom and all them like think he's this great dude. And everyone else is kind of like, you're kind of a good dude, but you hang with a low life who makes you a low life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like that was a thing that I remember back then being like, I didn't know British people were like fucking bums, like us. Like I didn't.
Oh, bro, like, you want to see how bummy we can get? You got to get the old with nail and eye on, bro. With nail and eye is the scum of the like. These people are just like they live like fucking pigs. It's ridiculous. But
yeah, like see, I thought Train Spotting and all that, it was like an exaggeration. It was
right, yeah,
characters, right? I was like, oh, it's like a book. Okay, this isn't real, obviously. Not like Shaun of the Dead, the documentary, but it was more like these are kind of regular people.
Yeah.
That was more the gist of it. So that was kind of eye-opening.
But there were also people you knew, right? Like you knew the Nick Frost character.
100%.
Like, but he wasn't like a charming British guy. He was like he was like the fucking asshole who's like drinking 40s and smoking blunts.
Oh.
Yes.
And, basically like trying to hook up with like girls with missing teeth. Right, like he's like Necro.
Necro. Oh my god, Nick Frost is Necro. That's
you know what I'm saying. But like that's the US version. Like that's like
there you go.
Probably like the Philly version is like Vinny Paz.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like those are like the dudes, and you're like, God damn, these motherfuckers. But they're also your boys from growing up. So you're like, all right,
yeah.
I love that about this film, though. Like before we move on from that phone call, actually, the phone call's so funny to me because it makes me think of the pandemic. And I'm like, even when the world is going to shit, some stoner out there wants to get high.
Oh yeah,
he was a dealer. I forget. He's a dealer. Yeah.
And that's the thing. So in this zombie apocalypse, there's some stoners somewhere. They're like, well, let's just see if the dealer's around. He might be a fucking zombie, but if he isn't, he may have some green. It's amazing.
And he might come through to make like $15.
And he might
risk it all
for $15. I'm realizing as we're saying this that those two are the archetype for Pineapple Express. Like 100%. James Franco is the stoner that doesn't want to get old, but then Seth Rogen is like becomes his friend, but he's like he's like trying to do things, but he's like dating a 15-year-old. You know what I mean? So he's like trying to have a job, be a regular guy, but he's also scummy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely
it's Clerks.
It's Clerks. It's Clerks. It has that. Absolutely, I see all that, and I think that's the thing that obviously I talked about the Britishness of it, and. It's also the brotherhood, friendship, kind of mateship. Over here, it's just mates.
Yes.
Like, you're mates. You don't. You're down. Like you have to, like just do what they do. You get wrapped up in it, and that's all the Cornetto trilogy. It has that in it, like some sort of mates, friendship, brotherhood kind of thing. And I think this one more than most really leans into the power of friendship. And I was thinking, shit, man, you're right. It is not easy to manage this shit when you're growing up and your mate isn't. And that is such a brilliant thing to put on film because it's so hard to navigate as in real life, right? Like we've all been there.
Right.
And you're like, this guy still wants to go out till 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I've got a wife. She's here with us. Like, you know the scene where they're talking. I think it's the first scene. It's so good where they're talking. You think it's a one-on-one conversation, and then it cuts to Nick Frost on the fruit machine.
Yes,
and then it cuts to the two friends who he calls them some dickheads or something. And you're like,
her friends. Yeah,
her friends.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my god, this is painfully accurate. And because
especially her friends always suck.
Yeah.
Always, especially the dudes. You're like,
they're the worst. Yeah,
always suck.
What's the difference between mates and blokes?
Well, yes, I suppose he's a bloke. Mates is, what is it they say in Goodfellas? He's one of us, or he's I can't remember how that goes again. He's with us, or he's one of us. I can't remember which one it is. And I think with that one is, blokes are just seen as random blokes.
A friend of ours. Okay,
they're quite random. They are just men. That's okay. Like mates is very much like that's my mate. But mates has degrees, you see. So mates, these guys are like very good mates. They can tell, like he's growing up with him, right? Yeah. But the guy who comes down, he's like, shut that fucking electro up. Shut that hip hop up. It's not hip hop, it's Electra.
Fucking Pete.
Pete. Yeah.
So there's the degrees of like, it's the person that's like comes into your world through like kind of growing up.
Yes.
Like, we need a place to live together, but we don't like each other. People that you grew up with that you love. And then like the people that when you go to the bar or the pub that like have been in your circle since kindergarten, but you were never friends with.
Yeah. Right.
Like you were never tight, but you're like, oh, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Like that 100%. Dude. Yeah.
That's what he litters these films with, those kind of dudes where you're like, World's End really expands on that because there's 5 of them.
Okay.
And so they all are different blokes. I know that guy. Yeah, he had a birthmark and everyone talked about his birthmark at school. That little detail like that. And
Chrissy Shitstain is what we called him.
Chrissy Shitstain.
He had a big ass like shit stain birthmark on his rib.
Oh my god!
And there you go. And that's what you're known for the rest of your school career. But so I enjoy that about this film. I think you could talk about it as a zombie film, but we talked about the other aspects it does have. It has action as well and all that. And what's the British? I was rewatching it last week before we jumped on, and I was looking at just the Britishness of it and thinking how you guys may interpret it. And there's one bit where the dad gets bit and he's like, "I'm all right, Barbara. I ran it under a cold tap," which is one of the best under a cold tap. Which I thought that's probably the most British thing in this whole film.
And then what does he say about? He doesn't think there's out. He says like they're drug nuts or something. He says something like to wave it off.
Yeah, he does.
Bunch of drug nuts.
Yeah, bunch of drug nuts. Yeah, and you're not driving. Yeah, absolutely. He used a cricket bat, which obviously in America would be a baseball bat.
Right.
That's quintessentially English. Again, what you said earlier, having a pint and waiting for things to blow over. And I'm like, when hysterical things happen, people do just like, sit there and be like, right, this is what we're just going to do is sit at a cup of tea and just kind of.
Yeah, even the mom, like when they're invading the bar. the zombies are on the bar, and she's with the girl, and she's like, "Oh, he talks so highly of you so much." Like he's doing pleasantries with 800 zombies trying to break into the Winchester.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, but that shit is mad real. Like during 9/11, I couldn't leave Manhattan, so I was like, all right, I'm going to the bar.
Actually,
there it is.
Yeah, I was like, I'm stuck here, so I'm like, all right, let's go drink. What else am I gonna do?
That's interesting. Yeah, because that's what you're gonna do, right? So yeah, as soon as the pandemic ended, people was down having a drink. That was it.
Well, I remember during COVID, I mean, like alcohol sales exploded, at least here in the US. And I remember every night during COVID, because I was home all day, my wife and my son, we would like take turns, like someone would just go for a walk for like 45 minutes or an hour. And whenever it was trash night with the recyclables, I noticed everyone was fucking packed to the top.
Oh yeah.
With Alaska Twisted Tea.
Okay.
Michelob Ultra.
Nice.
Everyone in my area was slamming them.
Like, Michelob, you got to drink like 72 Michelob Ultra to get a buzz.
Oh, and then Twisted Tea is getting like a sugar hangover.
What is it? McDougal's or whatever the fuck it's called, like the non-alcohol one.
What's that shit called? I'm losing my mind now.
Yeah.
O'Doul's.
That's what McDougal's.
Yes. That sounds like Always Sunny.
Yeah. I think that might be what there's. But they used to have like all the bars here had to go. So you could go for a walk and just grab to-go cups.
Yeah, and then they would do like the
Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn,
like the frosty smoothie thing.
Yeah.
Just walk out with the cup, get that.
Yeah, and they closed off all the streets so people could go out and walk and not be like.
Yeah.
So like all the main avenues where there are bars and restaurants.
Yeah,
were closed off, and you could just like get a to-go cup and walk.
Yeah, there's something about watching like this film at post-pandemic that hits different.
Yeah,
it just hits a bit different. Where you're like, you would just be glued to your screen, wouldn't you? I suppose you would just be glued to your screen. And the fact that they're not, that's another great thing. This whole film is this whole kind of it's an Easter egg hunt, right? And it's foreshadowing of stuff. Callbacks to stuff. I think Wright himself, he loves to play with everyone talks about how Nolan plays with time. Edgar Wright loves to play with time, bro. Like that kind of satisfying punchline visually, and he does it over and over and over again. And the choreography is amazing at times where I'm like, holy shit, the whole Queen scene is pretty crazy anyway. Like that's to get that down and then to obviously get the, what do you call it as well? The switches, when he's at the switch, when he's at
the breaker.
The breakers, even the breakers are doing the Queen thing. And I think that whole thing was just that is great. But his work, I just come to it thinking his work before the internet was as big as it is now and social, like you can have it on your phone at your doorstep, like at your fingertip. His work is custom made for the age of content creation and internet.
Yeah.
Like it's completely, there's rabbit holes. You can go on TikTok and just follow geeks and go Easter egg hunting. And I was just thinking this is made way before its time, or maybe at the right time.
For me, when I rewatched it, and as you're saying this, to me, he's like a highly, so it's like, you guys don't read, Cam, you don't read comic books, right? Like correct me at the moment. Okay. All right. No. So there's a thing in X-Men called Children of the Vault, where there's this giant vault, and if anybody that goes in this vault, it almost works like, remember the scene in Interstellar where they go on that one planet and every hour on that planet's like 7 years on Earth, whatever. So in the Children of the Vault, anytime you go into this vault, the time tracks exponentially. So people go into this vault and become highly evolved because they may have been gone for 2 days, and in the vault is 500 years. So they don't age. They come out knowing things and can do more stuff. Edgar Wright to me is like putting Kevin Smith in the vault.
Nice.
He's a child of the vault. Like Kevin Smith is like, oh, it worked in Clerks. I just make all my stuff look like shit. Whether I got a $5 million budget, $250,000 budget. Edgar Wright's like, this is the launching point, and now I'm going to keep adding on. So even when I'm watching Hot Fuzz, it has the look and feel of Shaun, but it's like a step up. It's like a little bit cleaner, a little more polished, more actors that have a resume, not just like his crew. Like people emerge again from his pen of people he likes. But then, I remember the biggest thing with him, which it always annoyed me about him, again, like from a Marvel comic book, is like, oh, well, it was see if he would have done Ant-Man, Edgar Wright's Ant-Man. And I'm like, who gives a fuck either way? Like, it still would have, Ant-Man 3 would still been the worst movie ever, whether Edgar Wright was involved or not. Like, it still would have destroyed Marvel. But I remember watching a clip of like his teaser which after they fired him, they then used that to make the entire Ant-Man special effects in the first movie.
Oh,
so they
really?
jacked his whole shit. Yeah, there's like a 30-second clip you could watch from like San Diego Comic-Con from when he first shrinks down and like does one of the heist things where he beats up guards. So they stole that all from Edgar Wright, MCU. You see what I'm saying? So like he always had an eye on, I think what you said about genre and style, to be really referential and smart and Easter eggy and kind of pre-internet guy, but then also be like, wait a second, I'm trying to make something really entertaining and cool and kind of maximize my capabilities.
There's a fine balancing act through his whole film of like literally filling every space in the frame, or everything has some meaning of some sort.
Right.
Be it the guy, so he takes a phone call, and the guy in the shop that he's working, the teenager takes a phone call, and you're like, oh shit, they're all linked. He's talking about the guy who hasn't got any weed or whatever. Right. All this space is filled and filled and filled, but it actually doesn't feel like it's over the top. It feels like it's just very just swift and kind of it carries you along, rather than I'm like, holy shit, this guy's just cramming way too much in here.
Whereas, yeah, Kevin Smith will just like stop everything and like, here's why Star Wars is great. For 10 minutes.
That's what I mean. It's just
here's why Lord of the Rings sucks for 5 minutes. There's no skill to it.
Like, it's just so on the nose.
It's like blogging. To me, he's like a blog director. Yeah. Whereas Edgar Wright, like even the posters, when there's like there's the streets, there's Kid Koala, Eamon Tobin, like the Ninja Tomb world. That's just there in the background to let you know, like at the time he was into the cool indie shit that was out.
Yeah. Or whoever designed the sets.
Or whoever designed the set was, right.
Yeah.
But then when it came to the records, when they're pulling them out, and he's like, you know, Purple Rain, Scientized Batman soundtrack, he's like, yo, throw that shit. Like,
bro.
But it didn't start like a 20-minute thing about Prince or Batman.
Exactly.
It's just 4 seconds. That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's all you need to know about that.
Right.
What they feel. And that's what I loved about it. And I think I do have we've got to talk about the music, but I just have a few Easter eggs I really enjoyed. But I was wondering if you guys had any Easter eggs that you really wanted to talk about that you thought, oh God, that's such a nice touch. Well, if I run through mine, and then maybe you can remember a few as I go through. I was just thinking maybe instead of doing it that way. So my favourite one, and I only noticed it as I got older, I didn't really notice it for a while. It is when he goes to pick up the drink at the shop, and he's going, and you know, the first day he goes, he gets a full fat Coke, and then he has the argument with his missus. He's like, I'm going to be better. I'm going to book us a fish place.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to be great. And then he goes and picks up the full fat, and then he actually picks up the diet. And it's just that little thing where it's like, he's just trying, isn't he? That's the most I'd have done as well. Right. That's the most I'd have done that morning to try to be better, is just go for the diet. So I love that one. I love the doppelganger scene.
The doppelganger scene, that was great.
It's the space thing, bro. It's just
was that an homage? Was that a space homage, or was that like a Seinfeld homage? Because there was a Seinfeld episode.
Seinfeld one, yep.
So it's a Seinfeld
Bizarro
thing.
versions. Yeah, so it's like the Bizarro versions. Yeah.
But the Seinfeld one, did it have other people from that? Like, I haven't watched much of Seinfeld. So the Seinfeld doppelganger, was it the doppelgangers? Were they people, the comedians, writers, or anything like that? Or were they just
no, they were just like well-adjusted, like good, decent versions.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who the people actually were that played the doppelgangers. I don't know if they were like people from that world.
Okay. So what Edgar Wright does, I think, levels up the subtext of it, because all of those people are from British comedies, and the woman obviously is in Spaced. They act alongside. So that's quite nice, because we're always thinking, watching Spaced, are them two going to get together? Or they're not going to get together? So they kind of play on that little subtext. But I think the best one is like, you've got the guy from The Office, League of Gentlemen, like real. Oh my God, these guys. Dawn and Tim from the British Office are Dawn and Tim in this, and it's like pretty mad how I love that.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was.
But and then what's the dude's name? He's bald normally. He always has to wear a wig. Alopecia guy.
He had a wig, and he was looking down at his phone the whole time.
You mean I know what you mean, and I cannot remember his name, but he's on the Great British Bake Off and stuff.
He's in great. He was in Bridesmaids.
Yes,
he's in Bridesmaids. He's in what's one with Rebel Wilson? He's in something with Rebel Wilson.
That's Bridesmaids.
Was it? Bridesmaids?
Oh wait, no, it's not Bride.
Glee, not Glee. The acapella joint.
Yeah, it's Pitch Perfect. Maybe
Pitch Perfect. That's the best. Yeah, Elizabeth Banks joint.
It's Matt Lucas.
Matt Lucas. Yeah, that's he's fantastic.
Ah, right. Okay. If you have never, and I don't rate Matt Lucas as much nowadays but when he first came, if you ever want to watch a show called Shooting Stars, it was this British show. It was so surreal, but it was a game show. He played a big baby that played the drums through the whole like half hour. They just cut to him. He'd play a drum solo, say some shit, and leave. And it was so weird.
That's awesome.
It was so
That's
weird.
amazing.
It was like, what is Matt Luke? What is this guy? And then he's evolved to like being on the Greatest British Bake Off and stuff like that nowadays.
Yeah, that's where he is. My wife loves that show. That's where. Okay, now
now you see, like, oh god, this is that really weird bloke that did all that weird shit when in the 90s, you know. And I love weird shit in the 90s. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Matt Lucas is good. I enjoy him. And apparently the T-shirt. And I didn't see. I tried to watch it again, but you know, Nick Frost has the Got Wood T-shirt.
Yeah.
And apparently that was the least offensive of the T-shirts they had. And Matt Lucas is wearing the most offensive T-shirt that they had. And you can't really see what's on it, but I'm really intrigued to know what that T-shirt is.
Oh, man.
So,
See that? Okay, so that pulled me back to that time in the early 2000s when like the crude, crass graphic shirts were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
So as soon as he had that on, like I had one that said like I had like a Gary Coleman one. I forget what he was saying. It was some stupid as shit. And then there was one that was like, you know, crack is whack. And then like the Playboy something, poker in the front, liquor in the rear. I used to have that shirt. I swear he's on to do shows in. This horrible graphic tees.
When do you think they bring back the Big Johnson shirts?
Big Johnson.
Did they have those in the UK?
No,
Johnson.
but I'm interested to know. Big
So,
Johnson.
I mean, you know, the slang Johnson, right?
Mhm, of course.
Yeah. So there was a brand of shirts that they came out with. It was like a sports themed, like almost like a fake sports company for like sports equipment called Big Johnsons.
Yes. Oh my
So,
God.
you know, it'd be like a lacrosse player with like a Big Johnson stick.
Oh,
Like
God.
chicks dig our Big Johnson sticks or whatever it is. Like,
How is this a real thing? This is
yeah.
But
It was like really like tailored to like the 17-year-old market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Spencer's
Yeah,
gift
yeah.
store,
If you had a mall
Spencer's.
nearby, that shirt was huge.
Oh, it was a huge.
Whatever sport you played, you had your version of that.
wow.
Like, you know, it'd be like Big Johnson's balls, like basketball players or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wow. It just ties in completely nicely to who that guy is that has I Got Wood written on his T-shirt. Who
Oh,
is
yeah,
that guy?
certainly. Yeah.
He is
of course
such an
it's someone
asshole.
like-
He's such
yeah,
a fucking
it's
asshole.
someone like Nick Frost, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But did you guys have shirts? I mean, Zilla, you said you had shirts like that. Cam, you had shirts like that, right?
I had
Growing up.
Do you know all
Like
my
you-
shirts were just of things I was into. So if I
Okay.
liked hip hop, it was just a hip hop band or something like that. That was
Gotcha, okay.
that was the. I never did the generic. Like I did it as a kid, high school. Like
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I probably did wear some horrific things.
Do you ever still see one that you're like, oh, that's dope, but I'm too old to wear that now?
Do you know what? Oh God, have I seen that? No.
We're like a obscene. We're like
Yeah, just kind of like, even like, and it's not like as dumb as I would have been where I'm like, that's mad offensive. I'm wearing it.
No.
Yeah.
But you're
I
like,
remember-
it could even be like a band shirt. I'm like, I can't wear, or like a horror shirt.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Like,
was me
you
last
know,
night. Yeah,
I can't wear that shirt out and be like a respectable adult. Yeah.
right.
I saw a Texas one, and it was you were like, "How is that getting? That's not getting it." I would love to wear that, but it's.
I would
full-on
love to,
leather
but
piece.
if I put it on, my wife would be like, what the fuck is wrong
I
with you?
can't go to school in this. I can't drop them off. Can't
Yeah,
pick
like
them up in this.
Leatherface, like pulling the woman inside the house or something. I'm like,
Do you know what I
that
mean?
shirt's awesome.
This ain't happening.
I
Yeah, exactly.
know.
That's not happening. Exactly.
Yeah.
But there is a few accounts I follow, which is T-shirts that go hard, and those T-shirts are great because there are some crazy ass fucking T-shirts out there. And so
Yeah.
follow that account if you want to. But that's the only times I do check it out. But yeah, good shout. But yeah, even the attire, even the way Shaun's wearing, he's like, "You've got red on you." That whole kind of callback thing.
Mm.
But how he's wearing, like, he keeps it on like the whole way through when you're like, shit, like,
Right.
it genuinely doesn't even change. And yeah, I kind of love, it's the cheapest, best Halloween outfit as well. One thing this film did is just make Halloween so easy for people.
Good call.
Where you're just
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
all I was got to do is get a red tie and a white shirt. Absolutely, let's do it. And then,
Listen, I talk shit about Kevin Smith, but I've been Silent Bob twice for Halloween. It's so
There you
easy.
go. Yeah.
I have a trench coat. I just put a hat on backwards.
do you think you're projecting?
I just do this
something
face. I just do this, like stick my eyes out.
That's good.
Get a cigarette.
That is pretty good.
That's quite good. That looks quite good. Are you projecting that you hate yourself for doing it, therefore you now hate Kevin Smith? Do you think it's something like that?
No, I have a special place always, like for Clerks and Chasing Amy.
Okay,
like he sucks, but he had 2 really good ideas, 30 years ago.
Bro, I'm here to shout for Tusk. I love Tusk.
Me and just Castro were just talking about. He just said that to me. He's like, "Did you ever see Tusk?" I said, "Fuck no." And he was like, "Oh, he's like this dude. He's a wall." I was like, "I'm out, man.
It is great. I rewatched it last year, and it's great. I loved it.
I never got into it. I did like the one that he did. I think it was him, like about like the Doomsday Cult.
Is that? I don't know what that one is.
In Red State, not Red State.
Yeah, Red Castro State. Told me to watch that too.
Yes. That's pretty good, actually.
See, I was off the boat with him because I paid money to see Cop Out with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis in the theater, and it was so terrible.
Wait, he did that?
Yeah. Yes, I was like, man, fuck this guy. Why am I still cheering for this dude? He sucks.
Yeah,
and that was out. Never went back.
I feel you, but there's some little gems. I will vouch for Red State and for
okay, I'll check Red State.
So I loved Clerks 2 and 3, so I'm not even going to front.
Oh, is it?
But
okay,
they sort of like it's similar to like this series, like Getting to the World's End, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like it's following those characters through this journey in their life that are like, because I'm of a similar age, I'm like, oh, okay, that resonates with me.
I see,
right?
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
On a lesser level, and this is no way putting this film on any pedestal at all, but it is a bit like the American Pie series for me and my wife. It's a shit film.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's not a great film.
Stifler's dad is one fucking great.
But I really want to just know a bit more about what Stifler's doing when everyone's getting married. It's just a little stupid thing. But it is that is that. So yeah, I absolutely get it.
I just want to say my favorite line of the whole trilogy, I think it's in the second one. When Eugene Levy's like talking to Jason, what's his name? Who was the lead? Not Jason Schwartzman. Well, he was in
Jason Biggs.
Orange is the New Black. Jason, what's his name? Biggs, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, son, we just want you to know how proud we are, me and your mother, of how you turned out to be. Now, don't forget your penis cream.
Perfect. It's brilliant. He's low-key the star of the series, Eugene.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's amazing in everything.
Yeah, definitely. But let's get back on this Shaun of the Dead trade for a second.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm enjoying the chat. But a few more Easter eggs, 2 more I've got here. One is a great one if you like space. There's a guy called Tires who's the drug dealer in space.
Tires is the in space. Okay, sorry. I was thinking of a character you were talking about in this movie.
Oh, right. But he is a zombie in this. Like, Tires is a zombie. He wears like this bicycle kind of hat, and like it's a very unique look he has. He's always in like his bicycle outfit. And,
I love to do that. Tires.
Right. Yeah, his name's Tires. He's on his cycling tip all the time.
I thought you were talking about Snake Hips.
Oh, Snake Hips is great. And that was a game everyone played in the pub afterwards as well. Whereas now we've got to do stories. Like, this has just got to happen. 5 fights in.
Oh, I see this dude. Oh,
yeah.
He's got a tough look. Tires. He has the Wesley Snipes hat from White Man Can't Jump.
From White Man Can't Jump. Exactly. Yeah. We're going to talk about most hip hop things. That's actually quite hip hop, actually. And my other one here was the stagger back here for shots at the bar, which I think everyone kind of grabbed. It was the first piece that I think everyone got of the puzzle about maybe a year or 2 later, when people started talking about the film a lot. And it was like, oh yeah, that speech he says is foreshadowing the ending. Like the whole speech he says and you're, oh yeah, and Pineapple Express used that as well, actually. Now with tying it all in, they did the same thing as well. About Danny McBride eating his face, and he actually does that. Yeah, shit, crazy.
Yeah. Wait, are you doing Easter eggs still? No, okay. And these aren't anything that I like noticed. It's just because I watched that Dead Meat recap that I sent you guys.
Yes.
There's a part where his mom's name is Barbara, right?
Yeah, yes. Barbara. Yep.
And he says something like, "They're going to get you, Barbara.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
We're coming to get you, Barbara," which is a throwback to Dawn of the Dead. Or not Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, where he's like, "They're going to get you, Barbara." That part, there was
love that.
There was an Easter egg in the script where like their roommate Pete is yelling at them, like he's like, "Why don't you go live in the shed?"
And he does,
and he ends up living in the shed. Like those were the two. I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
Yeah, and doesn't he say afterwards, "Next time I see him, he's dead." And you think
Yeah.
it's such a
Yep.
shitty little thing that people do say. It's never going to happen. And he actually is dead the next time.
He is dead, yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely does work. Yeah, definitely.
I love Pete.
Yeah, just beautiful little writing there for sure.
Oh, and then one of the kills as well is like a throwback to I want to say maybe Dawn of the Dead, where it's like the dude gets pulled out the window and ripped apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that dude.
Oh,
I've
that was
got a
the shit.
whole category
Yeah.
for that dude.
Oh, we
He's got
do.
a whole category for himself. I'll tell you. But like,
Piece of
yeah,
shit
I
asshole.
loved that at the time as well. That was like, oh, awesome. They marry that really well. Of like, you get the zombie guts and shit, but you also get the story and the laughs. But
Right.
it's like, I'd never like, oh God, come on, hurry up with the zombie shit or hurry up with the comedy shit. It kind of balances it really well.
They really walked that tightrope
Yeah.
and did it fantastically.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So look at the music in this film, and this ties into the Easter eggs in a way, but
Yeah.
it also is just so amazingly on top. But he does it in Last Night in Soho, he does it in Baby Driver. He's always like a character in his films. But what I loved when I first watched this was people hating the second Stone Roses album, and it was like, oh yeah, I actually didn't mind the second Stone Roses album. And when he goes through it, and they're all like, looking, it's such a good little mechanism to get to the point of who these guys are, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
It really fills in the colours of who these characters are. And it makes you think like, it's also in one way a really good look at, before it became a thing, like Stan, like fan culture, I suppose. Like, no, I love the Batman soundtrack. No, and it feels like it's almost taking the piss out of diggers and record collectors. As well
that was the first pressing. He's like, who fucking cares? I forget what album
that was
it is.
Blue Monday. That hurt me seeing that.
What album was it?
It was Blue Monday, I think, by New Order, which was like the most
by New Order, got it.
Like kind of 7-inch or 12-inch that he's on, and it's like it was one of the most expensive ones to make. So him smashing that off the bat, good lord. Sade catching a nasty
Diamond
stray.
Life. Come on, man.
Diamond Life has bangers.
On,
I got that angry, right? I was quite stoned watching it last week, and I got that angry. I looked at the track listing for Diamond Life because I was thinking, how dare he chuck that? And it has Smooth Operator, Your Love is King, Hang On to Your Love, right? And Why Can't We Live Together? It's got so many. I'm like, how?
Banger, dude.
But think about who these dudes are. They're still like bros that live together and get high all the time. Like they're not bumping Sade because they're like, it brings up feelings they don't want to admit exist. You know what I mean? Like
very true.
Yeah. They're like dudes that hate women. You know what I mean? They're like pre-incels.
Pre-incel. Oh my God. There's a bit of incel energy in there, actually. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think, I suppose actually now looking at it, you're right. Maybe if this was spaced 10 years later and they were going into their 40s, 30s, late 30s, 40s, then they may be keeping that, it's Stevie Wonder album or whatever. Stevie Wonder, even then, there was some, Prince was getting shaded absolutely with this. But I thought I'd look at this and think, right, do you know another good thing they do though? When he chucks the first record at them, and that's the record the lad, the housemate is chucked out the window. Remember the night before?
Yep.
I was like, oh, what a fucking great little connective tissue.
It was like that electro shit.
Yeah, the connective tissue to pick that up as it's been chucked outside the night before. It all just tracks. It's so well written. I love that. So I had this little game I was going to play with you, right? And because of the crate takedown, I was basically thinking, let's call it the zombie crate takedown. You get a whole host of hip hop albums, right? And we're going to play this together now. I'm going to try to make this a regular thing if it works now, right?
This is great.
And I've got my Spotify playlist here of my hip hop tunes, right? And this has just got fucking everything you could probably think of on it. So I'm just going to press shuffle, and you're going to have to tell me if you're throwing that or not at a zombie, right?
All right.
And I'm going to put it on shuffle and let's see where we go. Right. So let's first, this could go really wrong, could go really right. Let's see. So the first one is Business by Eminem. Does Eminem's
Faucet.
that whole album?
Yes.
The album's gone.
What?
Bang. The album's gone. Okay. Nas's I Am.
The whole album?
Faucet.
Yeah. So you've got this.
Oh, yeah. That's out of here. That's out of there.
The whole album's gone.
The whole thing.
Holy shit, these guys are ruthless. Okay.
Wait, because I Am tricks you. You think it's good because it has Nas is like a New York State of Mind too and Hate Me Now. And then the rest sucks.
Yes.
So that's out of here.
Okay, I see that. I've got Little Yachty's album from 2023. Last year's album.
Oh, that Tame Impala type record?
Yes.
Let's keep that one.
We'll keep that. That's a dope record.
That was chill.
I'm glad I would have kept that one as well. Let's start here. So Nas is out, but Lil
I'm throwing Nas, but I'm keeping Lil Yachty. This is gross.
This
audience
is
gross.
going to fucking kill me. He's going to lynch me for doing this.
Send him our way. It's us. It's not you.
Come call our culture Patreon and fuck with us. Go ahead.
Okay. Arrested Development, greatest hits.
Toss.
Oh, done. No way.
Nah, man.
Corday's Family Matters. What's that? The Lost Boy from 2019. Corday. Anybody remember this album?
What the hell know the fuck Corday is? Toss it.
Corday.
Hey, I like Corday.
It was
he has that song.
It was like his first album, like 2019.
Okay, because he has that banger with Anderson .Paak. I love 210s. I can't vouch for this album. I'm throwing it though.
Yeah, it hasn't got Corday.
I would be conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should spend more time with this one.
But the zombies are closing in. And
they're moving quite slowly though in the backyard.
Yeah. They are. Oh, Madlib, Shades of Blue. Got to keep that one.
Is that the Blue Note one? The Blue Note one?
Yeah.
We're keeping that.
Yeah, keep that one. Yeah.
Got to keep that. Okay. I'm going to go through these because we're getting a few. Oh, Below the Heavens, Blue and Exile. Let's go.
Chucking it.
What?
Out of here. Fuck out of here.
I'm keeping that one.
I was going to say,
I have Blue on my new album, but listen, I don't like what this album represents. It's not even Blue and Exile's fault.
What?
This was like because this was made during the worst era in rap history, which we did a podcast on a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So anything remotely 90s-ish, boom bappy-ish, like Rhodes and like soul samples, people way fell in love with too hard because it was such a bad time that and they were doing reissues every 4 years. Oh, the 9-year anniversary reissue, the 11th year. I'm like, that doesn't mean shit.
But is that the album's fault? Surely.
No. There's better Blue records. I'm chucking it. That's out of here.
Done. Right.
Music's emotional, man. Sometimes it's about your emotional reaction to what's going on.
And I love Blue again. Those shots of Blue or Exile, they're dope.
Okay. So bang. These zombies are getting it full pelt. We've thrown more than we've kept. Absolutely.
Arrested Development, Eminem, all that.
all going. I am Busta Rhymes' Extinction Level Event.
Oh, that stays.
First one?
Extinction Level Event is like the third or fourth one, I think.
No, I meant because he did ELE 2.
Oh, no, number one. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm keeping ELE 1, 2 is out of here. I'm keeping one.
I'm keeping both of them.
You keep
really? You're gonna keep ELE 2?
I like 2 a lot. I thought it was pretty good.
And the last one, I can't believe it's landed on a horror themed album as well. 3-6 Mafia, Mystic Stars.
Wait, what is it?
3-6 Mafia?
Yeah.
Oh, 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, Mystic Stars. Their debut.
I'm too East Coast to pretend I was checking for 3-6 and 94. So I'm chucking it. I'm not going to pretend I'm cool with that.
I have a thing where I can't even delete a record from my Spotify if I've never listened to it, and I've never listened to that record. So I'll be like, I have to save it. Just like, I still want to check it before I get rid of it. It might be good.
Okay, so I'm going to go to one that you definitely have heard then, because I didn't want to end on one that you haven't heard. All Eyes on Me, double disc. Well,
Toss.
Wow, that's a lot of.
I'm keeping it. All Eyes on Me.
You got to keep.
I'm keeping it.
You got to keep it.
I'm
man.
keeping All Eyes.
I don't like Pac.
I think we'd have definitely have done the zombies by now, but there would have been a lot of arguing doing this whole thing.
Yeah, wait, if we have All Eyes on Me, that's probably like 4 pieces of vinyl, right?
Yeah, you saved.
I'm going to keep 2. I'm keeping 2. I'm throwing 2 out because there's definitely it lags a little bit.
Which
towards
sides?
The end of I think the end of disc 1. It's like there's like either the end of disc 1 or the beginning of disc 2. There is like a gap where you're like, there's a couple little duds in a row that you could just skip. So I have to look at the track listing first and determine if am I throwing side A and side D at this motherfucker.
We'll hold the zombies off as you're looking at the start sides. Yeah. Actually, side D and side C. We've got to keep that.
Yeah, I'm willing to make sacrifices, but I gotta keep some of this shit.
Okay, I love that. Okay, well there we go. The zombie crate takedown. That's the first edition of it. We'll hone it. Hopefully, put some sound effects in. Let's go game show this shit up. But I enjoyed that. Let's just go quickly into my favorite needle drops before we go into some of these categories I had as well. Because I was thinking about Edgar and he loves this music. I thought some of the best needle drops here, White Lines, Melly Mel. It's not really a needle drop, but the way they use it is just so well done. I mean, come on. And bro, Ghost Town. Ghost Town's my second.
Ghost Town's amazing.
Opens the movie. Opens
the film.
It's such an eerie like tone to it too.
I flipped that for Castro. like 10 years ago. We did like a project based around Snatch.
Nice.
And you can never make a whack beat touching that sample. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It goes down.
Do you know the whole thing with the intro as well? And I think they do it throughout the first act, which is people are zombies too. It doesn't really doesn't really hammer it over the head, but that definitely is like a motif in zombie films. Probably from the 70s and 80s, like probably from Dawn of the Dead, the original, right? And like the whole thing. So the fact that they still rope that in there as well with the whole intro is great.
Great, yeah.
Number 3, we've talked about it. Don't Stop Me Now. I thought that was a great way of just using that song.
Apparently, that scene brought that song back to the masses, and people got hella into it. Like they weren't like super into it before.
I mean, I've seen it in so many commercials and movies
since then.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was like, when it first came on, I'm like, oh, this fucking song again.
Yeah.
But then I was like, this is 04. Like this
is like the first one. Yeah. It's like when my best friend, when the breakup used My Best Friend by Queen. You're my best friend.
Yeah.
Like
that's like in pet food commercials and shit and all that. Yeah.
Which is,
but they were like the first ones to bring it back.
Does this film end on that song?
No. Wait, My Best Friend?
My Best Friend or
yeah, I think it ends on My Best Friend.
It ends with the Queen joint, doesn't it?
It's not a different Queen joint though?
Is it the same Queen joint is what I'm thinking?
I think it ends with My Best Friend.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew that.
That cost a grip to get Queen twice.
Yeah. Right. Apparently they wrote to Brian May, and Brian May was like, yeah, use it.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? I love that about that. Absolutely. So the other two I have here, this one's great because it's not a song I would have loved, but I kind of love it because it's nostalgic now. But it's, when he's on the bus and he's going home and there's the guy listening to hardcore techno in front of him.
Yeah.
Zombie Nation.
Nation. Yeah. There we go. Like that song was everywhere.
I love that joint.
That song's called Zombie Nation.
One of the groups called Zombie Nation.
Oh, it's cool. Wow. I just think of it being like at Jets games.
Oh, right. I see.
Yeah. Soccer, everyone plays that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's Kencraft 400, but the track is called Yeah. And the fact that they lined in the zombie thing again was great. And then, they're switching through the channels. But last needle drop I really enjoy is the Panic by the Smiths. And it's Panics on the Streets of London as they're trying to explain what, again, a really nice little, like, kind of mechanism to kind of get the stories, switching the channels. Yeah. And
I love when movies do that. Yeah. It's like one of my favorite movie tropes. I noted that too. Like anytime a movie does that, I'm like, this is going to be great.
Yeah, it really is. And I love that.
It's almost like something out of Airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So someone's talking, something else happens, and it makes it. Yeah. Absolutely.
The whole sentence was great.
Can I hit you with a needle drop? That's going to be like, there's a part like, I think like right as like they're getting ready to break up or after they broke up when Chicago's If You Leave Me Now comes on. I always hated that song and I watched it, I was like, that's a fucking banger, dude.
Yeah, isn't it when he goes, is that when he's like, who put this on? And it's like, it's on shuffle.
Oh yeah, he's getting crying. Yeah, he's like got red eye. He's like all fucked up.
It's on shuffle. Yeah. Oh, it's superb.
Like growing up, I was like, that song sucks. It's like everything I hate. And then I heard, I was like, man, it's such a good song.
That is a good song. Okay, great. Zilla, any needle drops you enjoy?
I loved all them joints. I mean, when they were doing what was the other hip hop joint and towards the beginning? When they were doing like the techno shit, the electro shit. I don't know what that song's called.
Hip hop bebop don't stop by Van Parish.
Yeah. That shit bangs.
Love that shit.
Good.
Yeah.
And like they're doing the routines. I mean, White Lines is unbelievable. That whole sequence with this like in the middle of the street.
That bit is so good. It's so well done. It's so well done.
Yeah. That was a part in the preview that I was like, all right, I got to see this movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they used it heavy on the trailer. They did.
Yeah,
they did absolutely. But it shows what they're kind of into as well as just young people back in the day.
Yeah,
they were into hip hop, but they have this. So I have those hip hop moments of the film, and some films probably won't have a lot of them, but this one seems to have a lot of hip hop moments. So I have a few. White Lines by Melly Mel, obviously. White Lines by Melly Mel.
Yeah.
There's a point where they, I think he's got a spade and he's got his bat, and they're like, "Yeah, boy."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've got Flavor Flav. Yeah.
Flavor Flav. Enjoy that as well. we talked about it's not hip hop, it's electro, you prick, which is a great little just signifier. There's two different things here, and it's funny that kind of signifier between electro and hip hop has kind of died as the people have got older, and it's like no one gives a shit anymore. It's hilarious. There is a scene, and I only got this because I was watching, I think it's like Vanity Fair do like analysis of a scene, and Simon Pegg does analysis of the Don't Stop Me Now Queen scene. There's one moment that Simon Pegg falls on the floor, and to get up, he does the helicopter. He does
with his legs. Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I used to try to break dance when I was a kid. And I was like, oh my God, what a great little hip hop moment in this whole film. And then this is so tenuous, and it's clearly he doesn't say Big L, but I misheard it the first time round when I watched it again. And you know when he says like, well, Big L says that dogs can't look up. And he goes, yeah, well, dogs can't look up is the joke. And he's like, Big L also says dogs, and it's Big Al. But the first time I was like, Big Al says that. So I'm taking it. I'm taking that one. But yeah. So there you go. Is there any other hip hop moments that I might have missed that you guys may have clocked?
Like I said, just the posters, like him having a Kid Koala poster up. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's fucking, I mean, that's very early 2000s England to me, to have a Kid Koala poster and Eamon Tobin.
Yes.
And then like the street. I wish they would have had the streets on the soundtrack, the original Pirate Material, something, because they had that poster up too.
Yeah. That's true.
And I feel like his music, especially like the more drum and bass shit would have fit like some of the high tension scenes. But and then wait, what was his ringtone? When it goes off, was that White Lines or something?
Yeah, it is. It's Italian. I just
watched it.
It definitely is Italian. Yeah, definitely. Great show.
Yeah, it's great definitely like a hip hop song.
So mine was also a poster. It was the Infesticons poster in their stairwell, which was Mike Ladd and Creature. It was a group that they had out on Big Dada Records.
What a great pull that is.
Really because they were like my boys, so like I know that poster. I was like, oh shit.
How did they put that?
Like, but that's like some real like indie hip hop shit.
Yeah, like these aren't chokers. Do you know what I mean? Whoever did that set design.
It's the same way you get the Cannibal Aux poster and Lady Bird. Remember
Dude,
that?
There's a Hangar 18 sticker on the refrigerator in The Wrestler.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Damn, this should be a whole segment on its own. Just little references that I missed. Because everyone talks about the Evil Dead one in 202023, didn't they? Where it was it's the Jay Dilla poster.
Oh, it was like Dilla, Doom.
Superbad has Danger Doom, doesn't it? Yeah, Danger Doom. And it's like, that's pretty cool. But these ones, oh my God, they're amazing. I never knew this.
It would have been more impressive if they would have had like keys to the cuffs, like JJ Doom and Evil Dead. I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is real shit now.
Now we're going.
Board like this on the wall. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't get the posters because they had like an office next to a record label. Right. They got that poster because they like had a tie-in with Urban Outfitters.
Yeah. Urban Outfitters. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So I have this little moment here then. This is a kind of placeholder title. At the moment, it's called the Canibus Feature Award. But I'm open for people to rework this title anytime you want. But back in the day, we all know when Canibus did a feature, he pretty much stole that song.
Changed my life.
Yeah. Bro, right?
That's why I'm here.
So let's do the Canibus Feature Award for Shaun of the Dead. So this is someone who's in the film, but they aren't the main characters, and they almost steal the film. And I was looking at Nick Frost, but I think he kind of is like a co-star. I'm not sure
he's a main character.
Yeah, he's like on the poster, main guy. Yeah.
Exactly, on the poster, main guy. So I was looking at all the other people that I think does the most with his amount of time, right? Like Canibus would just drop it, bang, and out. Unless you're doing 100 bars, then you're there for ages. But it's it has to be the slimy boyfriend with glasses on that really
he's pretty great. Yeah,
has
such an asshole.
Yeah, it's just a piece of shit. Like the guy,
David.
That's David.
Oh,
and
David, what a shithead.
What a fucking shithead. And the fact that they nailed the attire that he's wearing a rugby shirt and with the collar and everyone, oh my God, this is exactly it. And even when he says to him, oh, fuck off, Four Eyes, and he's not wearing the glasses. He's
not wearing glasses at the moment, right? He's not wearing glasses.
That makes me laugh. That's amazing. Although, this is how good you have to be. Like, he does have a point. Like, Simon Pegg, spoilers, if you didn't already know, Simon Pegg's mum is about to turn into a zombie. He is right, absolutely. Right. But he looks like a chartered accountant, and that's what matters at this point. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you look like a chartered accountant. I'm not going to trust you to shoot my mum. And I think David, the slimy boyfriend, who fancies the main?
I like real quick you said that when they were to figure it out who's going to hold the rifle, and he says, "What's Nick Frost's character's name?" They say Ed.
Yes.
He's like, "Oh, Ed should be the rifleman." They're like, "Why?" He's like, "He shot his sister in the leg with an air rifle." that's right. He should be the marksman.
That's the experience.
Determined it.
That's the experience they need at this point.
Amazing.
It's amazing. But yeah, no. So that is mine. Do you have one, Alaska?
I mean, Philip was pretty great.
Yeah, I love Philip, man.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. I'm looking for it, but
Bill Nye.
No, but not Bill Nye. The kid that worked in the appliance store with him.
Oh, that kid.
That dude was great.
He is Timothy Spall's son, bro.
Okay.
So Timothy Spall's. I don't know if his name's Timothy as well, but his
okay.
Yeah, so he's Timothy Spall's son, and Timothy Spall is quite like big over here.
Okay, Rafe Spall. Okay,
that's it. Rafe Spall.
His name's Noel. Alaska in the movie.
Noel. Okay, Noel. Yeah, I thought Noel was pretty great, and Snake Hips. Snake Hips has two great scenes. There's like,
yes,
he's in the club, like the one where he's just looking like the slimiest dude ever, and they're like, he's constantly surrounded by women.
Yeah,
and then when they pass him, getting eaten by like 4 or 5 women.
Yeah.
Constantly surrounded by women. It's these little tie-ins, bro. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like him. He's good. I also enjoyed the is it the guy who owns the Winchester?
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah,
he's great. And
yeah.
It's so, oh no, hold on. It's all coming back to me now. There's a bit of trivia I remember for this where he last played a character getting chucked into a jukebox, which is essentially what they do to him in this as well. So his own career has like cyclical. They can go on. God. There's depths and depths and depths of this.
It's
but
wonderful.
I think they'd seen him in like a film that they loved and they wanted him back in for that scene. Like, this is amazing that they would do this. Yeah, proper gigs. Proper gigs.
I mean, you got to look at the zombie in White Lines too. Like that's such a huge part of the whole
so good.
He's got a nail
legacy of that movie. Yeah,
he's got a nail.
For me,
he's a real Freaky Tie type of shit. That dude.
My Canibus guy is Pete. That dude.
That dude's great too.
Such an asshole, but everything he says is right.
Yeah,
he's like, lock the fucking door. You know what I mean? And then of course the first zombie just walks in the fucking front door with no arm.
Like, what are you doing? Is that
the wedding?
Yeah. I love how he kind of goes, oh yeah, remember that night we all stayed up and drank schnapps and played computer games? He's like, that was 5 years ago. Holy shit, that's how life works, isn't it? It takes one of your friends to grow up and tell you that was 5. I'm on both ends of that conversation.
Certainly, because that's the guy you don't want to become, but you become.
Yeah, yes. 100%, absolutely.
But when Pete comes down when they're playing Electro and he's flipping out on them because it's 4 a.m. and he's like, I got my job tomorrow. He's like, I haven't been feeling well. I got mugged and some crackhead bit me. And they're like, how the fuck did you bite? He's like, I don't know. I didn't ask to check. Like, hey, why didn't you bite me while you're around me? I just got the fuck out of there.
Yeah. And the fact that, again, it's all this stuff like there's a zombie apocalypse happening, but people don't know it. And it's great.
Right.
And no one ever, even that bit where they're like, don't say that. And he's like, what, zombie? He's like, no, don't say that. And they make it a point to be like, zombie films don't ever say zombie. Why are we? Why are you doing that? So it's just all on there. The commentary is amazing for that. Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
So here we go then. A few categories, a few quick fire ones. This one could get really like, you could start thinking too deeply. Let's not try to. Let's try to go with the first ones we think of. So zombie apocalypse happens. You've got no phone, but you do have your Walkman with the batteries in. Which CDs are you picking up first, or records?
Man, this is the toughest ask.
Like, it's happening now, Zilla. They're outside the door. They're coming. You've got to just pick it up. What are you going to go for?
Oh man, Intervisions. I need a double album to hold me down.
Okay,
I'm going double albums. So that's going to give me my best value.
I enjoy
I'm
this.
Going Intervisions. I'm going White Album. I'm going Life After Death. I'm going Wu-Tang Forever, and then I need one more double album or just a really long album. That's 4. What would a 5th? I'm just going to say Clips Hell Hath No Fury because I always had that CD in my 6 disc changer. I just always had that for you. So there you go. I'll throw that one in.
I'm enjoying the variety in there. There's a bit of variety there. You get a lot. Fair play. Alaska?
So this is just albums, not songs, right? This isn't our montage song one.
No. It's like you've just got to go. You've just got to pick out these.
Gotta
CDs
grab shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing Supreme Clientele.
I knew that was coming.
Perfect.
93 Till Infinity.
Boom.
Bang.
Probably Oblique by Bobby Hutcherson. And maybe like Sleep is for the Weak by Frank Turner.
Oh, Frank Turner. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe like a Ben Folds record.
Love that. Absolutely.
And Cardigans, right? I need something with like a female singer, so I'm going to bring like a Cardigans record.
That's a good call.
Yeah. Cardigans. Look at this. Look at the people we're playing with here. This is great. That's absolutely amazing.
Oh, you know what? I fucked up. Intervision's a single album. Fuck. I'm thinking of Songs in the Key of Life. I'm still going to go. I'm going to go Intervision still because it's got Golden Lady and Too High and Higher Ground. I'm going to stick with that still, even though I misspoke.
So this is the equivalent of you running away from the house, kind of stopping and thinking, shit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck. I gotta switch it out. Yeah.
Should I go back? Is it worth going? That's a little category. What album is worth going back
for? Worth going back for.
Yeah, that's the way we should do it. If I knew that I didn't have donuts, I would be upset. I think that is the kind of a centerpiece of my 20s is donuts.
Nice.
So I need to run back for donuts.
That's Alaska's like 7th favorite album. So I can't believe he didn't list that one.
I know he hates it. I know he hates that shit. But
so much.
I know. But that for me would be reward value. I need to run back for that one.
The Mad Lib kind of blue one. I would have crossed that boundary to get that one. I would go back for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That one, the Shades of Blue joint is crazy. Not kind of blue.
I love the Beat Conductor series, man. It'd have to be Beat Conductor for me somewhere.
Yeah, you just grab the whole box set and be good.
Just grab the box set. There you go.
Yeah, the Beat Conductor, all of them joints.
Boom.
Or the medicine show ones.
Actually,
it's like 12 joints.
Special Herbs. Let's just go. Bang. Grab those Special Herbs as well. Yeah. Okay. This is getting good. I'm enjoying this.
Value. It's all about value.
It's all about value. This is a bit of a tough one, but let's see if we can nail this one. I couldn't think of one for this, but best rap song to lay down a zombie montage to. So you're brought in, you're wheeled in. The guys like, look, we've cut it, we've edited it. It's a zombie montage. They're all killing people.
I'm gonna play in the background.
We need a song.
I have a song. I'm gonna pull it up and play. I'm just gonna play it in the back. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'll play it in the background.
Okay.
Go ahead. I don't know if I have it. I gotta see if I have it first because it is perfect. Dang it, I don't know if I have it in here. Do I? Damn it, I don't have it. All right, I'm playing God Part 3 remix from Mobb Deep.
Wow!
Oh, the remix.
The remix is scary as shit.
Yes,
it's straight up like the horror organ, and it has like the big snare with the fucking reverb.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going God 3 remix.
That's a spark something for me then. If we wanted a high octane montage, I would go is it PLO style remix by Prodigy? Is that the one? Was it PLO style or is it the other one? I can't remember what song it is.
That's Method Man. PLO style is Method Man.
Yeah, Method Man, but Prodigy.
Oh, the remix. Yeah, it's from Tikal.
Yeah, from Tikal.
I think is that Chemical Brothers? I think it might have been Chemical Brothers.
I think it was Prodigy. I think it was Prodigy, but I think it was PLO style or one of those songs on there.
Or Bring the Pain. No, there's one with Bring the Pain.
Bring the Pain.
Yeah, it's Bring the Pain
Prodigy remix, Method Man. I reckon if you're going high octane, that could probably.
Dude, I had that on Kazaa. I was downloading that song.
Kazaa. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We
bringing it back to the era.
Throwback.
That was a Kazaa pull.
Yes. Alaska, what you got?
I don't know why, but the song that popped into my head while watching the movie and thinking about this was Duck Down by BDP. It's just like, it's some get you hyped to fuck shit up song.
Yeah. They could do the high octane, when they're like going to get the girlfriend vibe. They could add a little insert there with a 30-second clip of that. Absolutely. That's a great shout. I love that. That's a great shout.
Thanks, man.
So, okay, this one. Worst rapper to be stuck in an apocalypse with?
Logic.
Oh, man. Straight off the top.
Fucking sucks.
And
God. He's certifiably fucking insane. Like I watched a Netflix thing on him a few years back, following him around. It was called I forget, it was one of them documentary series they did. And I spent an hour with him on that thing because I was curious. I'm like, I hate this dude. He sucks. Maybe he's a solid guy. I'll check it out. And I was like, he is completely out of his fucking mind. Like he needs mental health check seconds. This dude's crazy.
Yeah.
Do not want to. And he's one of the corniest, clunkiest bar spitters ever.
Right.
So no, that's a double no. Out of here.
Shit. Okay. I had Kanye for this. Like, imagine being stuck.
He would have told you he predicted it. He'd be like, see, I knew this.
And then he'd blame it on the juice.
Then he'd blame it on the juice. Exactly. He'd blame something on them. Absolutely. I just thought, imagine just being, it's like nightmare blunt rotation. It's the same thing. It's a nightmare blunt rotation. Like, this is just not the guy I need name. Maybe we expand that into that. Instead of like stuck in Apocalypse with a blunt. Like, that's the thing. Like, oh no, he's even worse now. Now he's really paranoid. Now he's like thinking about things. Yeah, absolutely. Alaska?
I'm going with the Fugees.
All three.
All three. Because, like, if think about the Fugees and how bad they turned out to be as people.
And now
they're an international crime syndicate.
Correct.
And like, legitimately.
They
like,
are La Kosher Nostra.
Praz is up for, like, mad, like, crazy charges. Like, everything they wanted to charge Trump with, Praz actually did. Being like an unregistered foreign agent of a government, putting like laundering money to like sway elections.
Oh, it was like him and Mike Flynn. Like, who could do the most wild shit?
And they were like together. I think they teamed up at some point.
They did a collabo.
Yeah, they did a collabo. Fucking Wyclef ripping off all the Haitian earthquake funding, like the funds raised, ripping off all that shit.
Classic.
Lauren's like the most like gentle one, and hers is just like taxes shit, and then like not giving credit to the musicians on her first record that helped make that a classic.
Sure.
But the three of them are fucking awful people.
And then also remember, you're in this apocalypse, you're in the the same four walls, and they've got their own bloody drama. So now you're hearing them three going at
hearing them fight. And it's like, can you trust any of them? No. You're like, where did all the bullets go?
I'd like to. Where have they all gone? They're all.
I put my name on that food in the cooler. Who took it? Praz.
Praz. Exactly.
This is a great quote, real quick, from Politico about Praz. The defendant needed money and was willing to do anything to get it, including being an agent of the Chinese government.
Wow.
Like, bro, you make Ghetto Superstar. Yeah, you get the score. You don't have any
The score's
money.
like a diamond record.
You don't have any money. None of it. Nothing. God damn, you're going to be an agent for the Chinese
I thought Third Base were the worst group of people ever. But then it's like, they're just nickel and dime dudes.
Shit.
You know what I mean? They're like the drug dealer that's arrested for having a nickel bag on them.
Right.
While these dudes have houses full of keys.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's mad. Okay. We've gone down some rabbit holes here. The Fugees rabbit hole could be never ending thinking about it now. But okay, right. So we've done worst people to stay with. Best kill. Your favorite kill from the film?
It wasn't a crowd pleaser, but just like the random people they were running over in the street. It was like,
when he speeds up and stares into them. What are you doing? It
was great. Just nailing people. I loved it. Because there was no real threat. It wasn't like they had to do it. He's just like gratuitously, because he's a video game dude. He's just like, I was waiting to run him the fuck over.
Yeah. It's surprising to think how long an apocalypse would have to be in place for real people to do shit like that. Like, it's going to be hours, right? Within hours, people are going to be like,
oh, yeah.
Now we can actually hit zombies with cars, though. So,
I mean, like, look, you saw how quickly that happened during the pandemic, right? There's like protests. People are like, I'm running these motherfuckers over.
Exactly.
They might cough on me.
Yeah. Imagine if there's zombies as well in the mix. Fucking hell. No way. But yeah, all I had was some trivia here. But actually, the one, Bill Nighy. And Bill Nighy being like in this, and my missus one time, she was in Brighton and he happened to be in the restaurant with her, and they were near tables, and he got them all to join in. And I remember taking photos later in the night and going, "Oh, do you know this guy?" She doesn't really know much about like Bill Nighy, or, films too much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was like, "This guy, you know this guy, right?" I was like, "Holy shit, you got Shaun's dad." And apparently he's lovely. Apparently he's a really nice guy, and he bought them drinks.
That's great.
Night. So I just have to vouch for Bill Nighy because
nice.
It sounds odd, but he applied my wife with drinks.
Nice.
So, there you go. But yeah, so best kill. Right, I don't think I have anything.
Wait, can I do best kill? No.
Nah.
So I really like the one where they pull dude out the window, but it's not necessarily kill, but where the woman falls on the umbrella holder for the backyard lawn set and gets up and they go through her chest for the camera shot.
That was a great shot.
That's like, I mean, that's my favorite gore scene. I don't know if it's a kill, but
no, you're right. Isn't it also the bit where they zoom in, they cut, and he's got the camera and he slowly reloads the camera?
Yeah, and he's like smacks it out of his hand.
Then he smacks it out of his hand. And you're like, that is perfect. Like the perfect punchline to that moment. Yeah, absolutely. And her name's Mary because he talks about, we'll go home, Bloody Mary. And
she got her name tag.
Mary. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I like that kill. Very good. So this film, 20 years anniversary. I want to talk a bit about the legacy, where you think it stands. Is it one of your favorites? Not so much would you recommend it. But then I also started looking at zombie film rankings generally. So I can do the rankings later for myself, and you guys can pitch in as well. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead, 20 years later, is it something you're going to keep watching? Do your kids watch it? Do you, would you recommend it, or do you think it's going to age badly?
I would recommend it. I think it's, I'm enjoying like these quick 90-minute movies where it's like, here's what it's about, simple premise, here's the characters, here's where things change. Will they make good decisions, bad decisions? How does it end? Done. Like that's it. There's not all this extra shit. You don't have to keep track of it. You're just in the movie. You have a good time. You're out of there. So I would recommend it.
Love that. Alaska?
I didn't enjoy it as much as I originally did.
Interesting.
And that could just be because at the time it was so unique and it was, something that really stood out. And now there's a sea of impersonators that have done it. Some that have done it better, lots that have done it worse. So there was kind of that, like in my memory it was this epic film. And watching it again, I was like, oh, it's just a small film. It's a cool small film.
Right.
I don't think I think if like a kid, somebody like my kid's age, who's like a, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, I wouldn't recommend it to them because I don't think that they would like it. I think it would be, they wouldn't necessarily get it. Like there's certain humorous and cultural touchstones that they wouldn't get.
Yes.
True.
But by the time they're in college and getting high, they will get it.
Yeah.
Maybe at that point I would recommend it.
Sure.
But
I think it is very much geared for that late 20s. Fuck, I'm about to turn 30 vibe.
Yeah.
It's very much that, and which is, I was mid 20s. So yeah, as it grew, I think one of the things this film did more than most in my just circles is people started loving zombies more. None of these people watched Dawn of the Dead. None of these people watched, Day of the Dead back in the day. But it made zombies a different thing.
Yes.
That I don't know if you remember, there was a Channel 4 show, and it was a reality TV show. What the hell was this called? And it's Charlie Brooker. And Charlie Brooker made a zombie show based on Big Brother.
What was that called?
Yeah, I remember that show. What the fuck
told me
was
to
that
watch
called?
it during COVID. It was so good.
What is
it?
That?
Was good.
Let's have a look.
So good. It was on
Dead
Netflix.
Set.
Dead Set.
That was a banger because I love Big Brother.
See,
it was fantastic.
So this is what I mean, and that feels like it was like late noughties, maybe early, around that same time. So these kind of things, it felt like zombies became a bit more mainstream for just around me. But the thing about this one is just because it keeps giving when you're with people like who love zombies, you can just watch it and oh shit, what about that bit? Or like my mate when we watched it together, and he was like, it's Full Cheese is the place where they go to eat fish. The place where they do fish. It's actually called the place where they do fish, but it's called Full Cheese. It's like, oh shit, check out the Full Cheese reference. I was like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. So they have all these little things that I think you can just enjoy with friends. So for me, in my I think the legacy, I'll always have it as one of my favorite zombie films because I do think some of the older ones just aren't as rewarding as they used to be. So I did a few rankings. And by zombie film rankings at the moment, so people are going to probably shoot me down for this, but here we go. And I went with this. 28 Days Later is still like probably my favorite zombie film now over the years. And I have rewatched it. And it kind of just...
It's one I've been wanting to rewatch.
Yeah. The last act is creaky, but you can forgive it for the rest of the amazingness. But it looks so Yeah, it doesn't look
It was
great.
the first fast zombies too, right?
Yeah.
And it's fast zombies, although they call them infected, right? And don't they do that in Shaun of the Dead where he talks about, like, isn't it Edgar Wright doing a police report saying reports that these were rage-infested monkeys were false or something? And you're like, oh shit, it's tied it into
I read the trivia that they said why weren't the zombies fast in this movie? Like, why are they slower than slow? And what's his name said, Simon Pegg, he's like, well, death isn't a fucking energy drink.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. That's perfect. That's actually quite perfectly put. Exactly. So 20 days later, number 2, Dawn of the Dead, for obvious reasons.
The original or?
The original. The original.
Okay.
I just have that wedded to one of the first ever zombie things I saw. And then it goes Shaun of the Dead at number 3 for me.
Really?
Yeah. It's at number 3. And then I've got Night of the Living Dead, just because it was amazing. And then I had another one at 5. So these are my 5 at the moment. And it's just because, again, I rewatched it a few years ago. It's so good. Wreck is
really good.
Is it a zombie film? Is it a zombie film? Can you call it a zombie film? I would. But yeah, it's that is incredible. So I don't know where it lands, if Shaun, that is some of your favorite zombie films ever, or would it get anywhere near them?
I can't imagine it'll be near Alaska's. He's more encyclopedic.
Yes.
His,
I mean, no, I'm not that like deep on zombies, honestly, but it would probably be in my top 10, I imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think like the ones I really like Zombieland. I think Zombieland's a better zombie comedy.
It's really good.
Okay.
Really good.
I really like Last Train to Busan. I think that might be my favorite zombie movie.
It's so
great.
good.
28 Days Later is great. I really like Return of the Living Dead.
Like
that one stands out from when I was a kid. Like that one I love that one.
Yeah. Great rewatch.
The Girl with All the Gifts is really dope.
Good. That's about 3 years old. It's about that, isn't it? It's not that old, is it?
Yeah, it's a little older than that. I think it's probably like closer to 10.
No fucking way. That's 10 years
it's
old.
up there. Yeah, Pontypool that we talked about earlier is really dope.
Yes. Yeah.
Girl with All the Gifts is 2016.
God damn it, man. What is time?
Yo, you know which one I watched recently that was really good?
What?
Life After Beth.
Never seen that one.
With Audrey Plaza.
Oh,
I've heard about this.
I love her.
I haven't watched that yet.
It's really fun. Man. It's like, I mean, it's kind of a comedy. It's weird, but it's good.
Okay, I love what Plaza say.
That's sick.
I will check that.
For me, I would probably put Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one. I haven't watched a lot of like 60s, 70s
okay
zombie. So Dawn of the Dead's in there. 28 Days Later. I really like World War Z. If it's on TV in a week and I got nothing to do, I just keep it on. I just think it's like a MacGyver zombie movie.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
did you ever read the book?
No, I heard it's like so much different.
It's so much different, but it's really dope.
Okay, I might check the book then, because I just love, like, okay, now here's what's like in Ireland, here's what's like in Israel here, and they filmed the opening of the movies downtown Philly, where I used to work, right there where everything happens. I love Night Eats the World.
Oh my God, that's so good. I love that one.
I just told my coworker, she just started getting the zombie. She just asked me Friday night what to watch, and I said watch Night Eats the World. And then there's a new one I just saw. I stumbled across it probably around Halloween. It's on Netflix, called Ravenous. It's this Canadian joint. Highly recommend Ravenous too. So that one's a hitter. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I would put Shaun, like, I would probably, like, I agree with Alaska. I would put it like underneath Zombieland, like rounding out the top 10. Okay. But and like remember they made that Zombieland sequel like 9 years late? I was like, what the fuck was the point of this?
They did as well.
Called, like, Double Tap, and I was like,
Double Tap, that's it. Yeah,
I'm like,
that had Emma Stone in it. Thinking about Emma Stone, she's like so huge now as well.
Right?
Yeah,
but they got her early. Her and what was Homeboy, the main dude from Social Network?
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they had all them early, and then they just waited way too long, and it's like,
Double Tap took ages to get her out. Yeah, absolutely. I think Alaska's just dropped off for a minute, so let's wait for him to jump back on. But
sorry, guys, I'm back.
Are you back?
Okay, good.
Yeah, that was just my dog's at the vet, so they were just calling me to tell me that the dog's ready.
Okay, sweet. No, we're wrapping up now, here, man. But yeah, absolutely. Okay. That was a great 5. These zombie films, I don't know. There haven't seemed to be a spate of amazing classic ones.
Yeah.
Like the Sadness, I think, is one of the last ones that we saw last.
Oh, Sadness was crazy.
Did
you see that, Zilla?
Nah.
Oh, do watch that if you.
I'm gonna put that on my IMDb list.
It's brutal.
It's a rough watch.
It's brutal
at times.
It's really brutal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically like tie the zombieism into like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
where like people like.
Yeah. All right, it's on my list.
Enjoy what's happening to them.
Is it some Asian shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Korean, I think.
Korean or yeah.
Right.
Have you guys watched iZombie?
No,
no. You were telling me all about it.
It's a CW show, like which is like it's basically built for like teenagers or whatever.
Right.
But it was really good. So the concept is like there's like this party drug that turns people into zombies. But if you eat brains, you're functional. Right? Like
that's like Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah. So it's similar to that, right?
That was a great
But
show.
when you eat someone's brains, you take on aspects of their personality for like a couple like a 24-hour period after you eat the brains.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it's about this woman that she's like going to medical school. She gets bit by somebody that took the drug, turns into a zombie, gets a job in a morgue. And starts eating the brains and like has to figure out what happened to the people, like how they died.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
it's like almost like a serial detective show.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a procedural almost. Wow, there's a lot going on. That is an elevator pitch for that must have been tough, man.
It must, but it's quite good. Like, don't go into it expecting like a life-changing thing, but just like a fun, enjoyable show.
Yeah.
And they managed to keep like a storyline running through the whole thing while doing like the case of the week type of deal. It's pretty well done. It's only 3 seasons, so they don't drag it out too long.
Well, my favorite zombie show is Black Summer.
Black Summer's great.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, it's a Netflix show?
No, never watched it.
Dog. It's like, it was brilliant because it was like, okay, Walking Dead's the biggest thing. It's too long and too melodramatic. We cut everything in half and only have the most intense, horrifying moments. 30-minute episodes, 2-3 seasons, maybe 10 episodes a season. It just gets like, it cuts out like 7 seasons of Walking Dead nonsense.
Oh, brilliant.
It's just like, how do you deal with this every day? This is the world now. How do you deal with it?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just like it drops you in like the first season's like escape.
It is horrifying.
It's just like you do not get a second to breathe.
Okay. Okay, this sounds like
fucking dude. Black Summer fucking rules.
Black Summer. Okay.
Rules. Castro was very territorial and very upset when I said it was better than Walking Dead. And then he watched it very reluctantly and was hating. I was like, bro, come on, stop.
Yeah.
He's watching the new Walking Dead with Rick Grimes and all them. They're coming back. I'm like,
I can't do Walking Dead. That's one of the most disappointing things that I've ever seen. It was so good for a while. Yeah, it was so good though. It had so much promise.
Season 1's phenomenal.
I was out when they went to the farm. I was like, I'm fucking.
That was the writer's strike. And then remember they were trying to sell AMC, so they had to cut all the costs. So it was like a bottle season.
I was like, I'm not, fuck this. I've been waiting for like 2 seasons for something to happen.
Yeah. It becomes that, doesn't it? It's just really bad. But Last of Us, there we go. There's another zombie show that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah, surprisingly good. Yeah,
I thought that was quite good.
Fire.
Yeah, hopefully they don't fuck it up, but it's pretty good so far.
Oh, did you see the Marvel Zombies episode of What If?
No.
Season 1 of What If. So Marvel Zombies is a whole series.
So I've got some of the books.
Comics.
I've got some of the comics. Yeah.
And then they kind of have like extended versions of it being like, there's one called like The Punisher Kills the Martyr. It's like how it all starts. It starts with the Punisher accidentally shooting some Russian arms dudes, and the chemicals go in the water and changes everybody into a fucking the superhero. And the Spider-Man is the first one to get infected.
Yes.
But because the Punisher was the first one to ingest it, he's like agent, like it doesn't affect him. So he spends all his time hunting and killing all the superheroes.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
And then they have another one called like Wolverine Kills the Marvel Universe, where he's of the Resistance, the remaining humans trying to kill and protect regular. So he's like fighting fucking zombie Hulk, zombie Thing, zombie Spider-Man. It's fucking wild.
Wow.
So they do a What If season 1 with the Marvel Zombies on Disney, which is fantastic. It is.
It's animated too, right?
It's all animated.
Yeah, nice.
So there's no like gruesome kills, but how they flip the heroes feels like your worst nightmare. Like, what if all the fucking Avengers became zombies and still had their powers?
Yeah.
They could just kill everyone. Siri just said that's not nice. All right, go ahead.
Ahsoka did a zombie stormtrooper thing too.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
Where it's like, you're basically thinking about like Star Wars, like they're knocking down stormtroopers and they just get up and they come back at you.
Keep going.
It's like, oh my God.
It's endless. The whole motif is endless, man. You could do it forever. I love that about them. But yeah, man, this has been amazing. I love just celebrating this anniversary. This has just been, it's 20 years. But next up, we're going to do more of these over the year. Wow, man, we've got Alien, we've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've got some really big ones actually. Shall I note some of these down before?
Read some of them off.
Let's list what we got going on here. Hold on a minute. I have this as a list because I was like, all these are getting big anniversaries this year. Holy shit. Okay, what have we got here, my man? Here we go. We have got Alien, as we talked about. I've talked about Dead Man's Shoes a few times on this series.
Wait, hold on. Is Alien, is that 50 years?
It's 45.
Oh, 45.
45 years of Alien. Okay. 50 years of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 50 years of Black Christmas, which I'm looking forward to this year. And we've also got 40 years of A Nightmare on Elm Street. So we're going to have a big old Freddy Krueger loving. And one that Alaska actually noted is 40 years since The Terminator, which you could see as a kind of a horror film as well.
As a slasher movie, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. So we'll be tackling all these on the show this year and delivering them hopefully to your inboxes soon. So yeah, man, thank you so much, you guys, for just bringing the flavor, man, as always.
Thank you for having us.
No, not at all, man. This has just been like, I think we've done like about 4 or 5 of these, but now we're going to hit a bit of a regular. Hopefully Maxine's coming out. I would love to talk to someone about Maxine when that does come out. And there's a few
we'll have to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some good stuff coming this year. Long Legs looks really good.
Long Legs looks weird. Yeah.
Looks
really weird. But yeah, man, anything you guys want to plug before we go?
I'm not sure when this airs publicly, but me and Chong Wizard are dropping Midnight Suns 2 March 29th. The album's called Money Has No Owners. It's going to be on vinyl, CD, cassette. I think we're going to have skateboard decks, hoodies, tees with our iconic logo, which I'm not wearing at the moment. But yeah, we have Blue, who I dissed earlier, but I'm not dissing him directly. Castro, Alaska's on the record, Midas the Beast, AJ Suede, Jesse Detree, Andrew, Premrock, and Rich Jones on the record. So that will be coming out end of March. Stay tuned for that. And then on our end, Call Out Culture podcast, we revamped our Patreon. We've added more perks. We started a Discord. We got fucking virtual reality. You could be in Castro's apartment yelling at his cats with him. You could pay for that on Patreon. Okay. We don't have the VR yet, but that would be the first feature. You just scream at Castro's cats live on the show.
Amazing.
So, fuck with us. We're out here.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, Zilla nailed it. Check us out on Call Out Culture. Just launched Call Out Culture Wrestling with myself and Jason Griff. So amazing. We'll see if that continues. Hopefully it does. But we're taking up some big upgrades and changes this year.
Yep. New networks.
I'll have some music coming towards the end of the year, but until I have dates, I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay, nice.
Trying to get that Manscaped money back. We're trying to get them back in the mix. Get some
trying to get some of those True something T-shirts, whatever they are that pop up in all
mattresses.
I
need all that.
Fuel.
Fresh growth, whatever like that food delivery services. They don't want you to go they don't want you to go to supermarkets anymore.
Yeah.
That you want to get them chef at. You got to buy like an
Instacart.
You got, or like the one to have, like, you got like a own microwave or like a QR thing, and you put the food in there and shit.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever that is. I want that sponsorship.
Easy bake oven for grown-ups.
What is life that this is happening? QR codes on your microwave.
Yeah,
man. What is happening? But yeah, no, regular listeners know, man. Check out Call Out Culture. I think we have a lot of crossover. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And until the next time, man.
Is that a what shirt are you wearing?
Me? I'm wearing a Born to Kill. This is Full Metal Jacket.
Right, Full Metal Jacket. I was blanking on the movie. Jacket. Nice, yeah.
Mondo did these hoodies, and although I was like, Born, can't wear it out as much as I want to, like where there's
what we were just talking about.
Because they'll be like,
dude, I wore Incubus shirt to the gym, so there you go.
There you go. Dude.
Hey, did you end up getting that Smashing Pumpkin shirt or no?
I did not. I listened to the people on Instagram. I was at Target last night. You can follow $3 Pistol on Instagram. I did a quick, just asking the folks, as a 40-plus-year-old man, should I buy the Melancholy Infinite Sadness band graphic tee to rally against the Nirvana wave. Okay, it's too much Nirvana now, and I love Nirvana, but it's too much.
Okay,
we got to balance it out. All right, Nirvana out here fucking outselling Reebok and Adidas with merch. We got to chill. What if there's other bands? There's other bands where like Incubus. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's other bands.
There's other bands.
Let's spread the love, not just wear Nirvana with the fucking logo.
You're doing it for the culture. That's what it is.
I got shot down.
The weirdest thing is some of the t-shirts you could get at Target. I bought an Ice Cube t-shirt at Target.
Wow.
Like if you told me that in 1993. Well, first, if you told me there was a store called Target, and then that they would be selling Ice Cube shirts in 1993, I would have slapped you.
To be fair, I got mine from Primark. I had an Ice Cube shirt from Primark. I was like,
Primark, hell yeah.
Primark, yeah.
So
they got the best shit.
They actually have fucking Ice Cube shirts that fit actually quite well and don't shrink. Yeah. But that's mad that we live in this world. It was so hard to get merch back in the day, and now it's just readily available.
The FBI was sending these motherfuckers like cease and desist letters and now they're in your local grocery store.
Oh, there's a death certificate t-shirt. Grab that and some soy milk. Okay, good.
Yeah, it feels like that. What is pop culture? Oh my God. But yeah, man, we shall see you soon. And let's keep doing it. Let's keep pushing and on to the next one, my folks. On to the next one.
Thanks, Cam.
Cool.
Peace, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.